Hey everyone, welcome back to the Dairy Raid and on to part 3 of our fall preview. And we're looking at the Badgers from a coach's point of view, so we ain't talking about so much about depth chart and position battles or anything like that. We're going to talk about the room as a whole, how the room can improve, and how we can then better utilize the room once we have a stronger room to utilize. And again, we're going to be looking at the receivers, where they can improve fundamentally, where they can take those fundamentals and improve their execution, and then how we're going to take that improved fundamentals and execution and be able to deploy the new skills tactically and effectively. All right, so starting off fundamentally wise, we were horrible at getting off the line of scrimmage last year. And I don't know if this is a Mike Brown problem or a problem that was inherited from the past, maybe underdevelopment with the receivers going into last year. But there was just this out of sync issue with the receiver room. And it started with their inability to get off the line of scrimmage. And so what I want to see from a fundamental point of view is less dancing and more bursting. I think we got in a lot of situations where our receivers last year maybe thought they were quicker than they actually were. Or maybe they overthought what they were doing because they had so much to think about when they got to the top of the route that they never quite got going. And when you have receivers who can't get off the line of scrimmage, that completely screws up timing with the quarterbacks and any semblance of a passing game going forward. So we really need to improve the fundamentals when it comes off of breaking releases and just getting vertical, restacking those defenders, and getting into our routes. Everything in this offense is based on timing. And if the receivers can't get in time with themselves, they're never going to get in time with the quarterbacks. And if we can get off the line of scrimmage, we can do a better job at executing at the top of the route. You know, a lot of times we get there and it seems like our receivers last year had problems feeling space and leverage and finding where they should be sitting down in their routes, or where they should be breaking, how they should create space on their defender. And we would just see this where they wouldn't break away from defenders when they're coming downhill on curls, on comebacks. They would just kind of turn and sit there and then be surprised that the ball wasn't thrown to them with the defender right behind them. We saw poor angles on dig routes. We didn't see that step climb that we talked about with the tight ends, where they would get to the top of the route, break downhill, and create space away as they're moving laterally out of their break. So better, more concise, more, again, simplify the top of the routes. If we get that, I think we're going to create better space. And again, we've been talking about the entire time, building up in the passing game, is we need to create a better three-layer effect with the passing game. And that also means laterally. So we get the horizontal, we get the vertical stress, but we also have to get the horizontal stress created by the leverage that we gain from the route. So better at the top of the route. And when you combine being faster and quicker off the line of scrimmage and being more decisive and more concise of where they're going at the top of the route, you're going to have a better route altogether. Better routes means when the quarterback gets to the top of his footwork, the only question a quarterback in the air raid offense should be asking is, when they get to where they are in their drop, foot in the ground, is the receiver open? That is the question. It is not, what's the angle of the defender? Where is he at? How close is he? No. We don't read defenders in the air raid offense. We read open space. So the question is, when the receiver gets to the top of his route, is he open? Yes or no? It's no yes but. No but. It needs to be concise, and they can help with that. If we're able to do that, that's going to force defenses into zone coverage, because now you are forcing the defense to have to cover more space. Last year, defenses were able to play man-to-man because we couldn't create enough stress both vertically and horizontally that we made the defenders have to even think about covering the entire field. And when we do that, we can't win. So we become better route runners. We have a better awareness of the top of our routes. We're going to force defenses to play in better space. By doing so, we're going to improve. Ways that we can fudge that tactically is we can run more routes from compressed formations. We saw that last year, where we would run some compressed formations and run a lot of our base type plays where we have our curl, we have our wheel route, we have our flat route together. But we had issues finding space in those compressed routes. So if we get better at our route running, compressed formations force defenses to play zone coverage. Movement from the receivers can force defenses to play zone coverage. When we force defenses to play zone coverage, we can manipulate the receiver or the defenders via routes. By manipulating the defense, we can set up and we can dictate where the ball goes. Up until, a lot of times last year, it was dictated like, all right, where's the one guy that we can get out? All right, Will Pauling's about the one guy who can beat his man-to-man coverage. We have to get the ball to him because he's the only one who can do it. This year's group has got to do a better job of that, and we're either going to have to do that by running better routes or utilizing our players in different ways through compressed formations and through motion. All right, so from a coach's point of view, I think the receiver room can get stronger, can get better without having to wholesale refresh the roster and add a whole bunch of new guys. We've added 2 new guys this offseason with Terrell Henry and with Joseph Griffin. They're going to help because they add depth. Joseph Griffin adds a different body type that we don't have. But the guys coming back are going to be the core of that group. Bryson Green, C.J. Williams, Vinny Anthony, Quincy Burrows, Will Pauling, and Trechka Kahuna. That group that we had last year has got to be a year stronger, a year faster, a year more fundamentally sound, and a year more hungry. And if we can get that out of our receiver group, we can start to see the potential that we saw in them last year and take a step forward. And that's what all the coaches are looking for, is we have a starting point with our group. We identify the problems that they have. We develop a plan to improve those issues. And then we use our newfound skills to create a tactical advantage and help our team win. That's all we're trying to do. All right, so that's the receivers. Again, a quick look forward to the season. We'll know more once we start getting into fall camp what direction we're going. But if I was in the room right now, if I was Kenny Guiton, this would be where I'd start from a fundamental, an execution, and a tactical form to build my room and improve it for the 2024 season. All right, so that is the receivers. Next time, we're going to be talking about the offensive line. Really excited to talk about this group because if there's anybody who can improve this room from fundamentals, from a coach's point of view, it's a good teacher like A.J. Blazik. So we'll get into that next time. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you then.